Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Today, we're going to lean a little more serious. We're going to talk about anxiety relief utilizing Feng Shui principles. This is going to be a really great episode. I'm going to share things that I've personally used myself, as well as many things that I've recommended to my clients. So if this is you or you know someone struggling with anxiety and stress, then this is a really great episode. Don't miss it. Welcome to Feng Shui Living, a podcast for busy women looking to de-stress and live with more intention. I'm Lisa Morton, and I'm passionate about helping you create a home that not only inspires you, but empowers you. Years ago, I was severely struggling with my mental health and wellness, and while I'd implemented yoga, meditation, therapy, and more, I just could not find that missing piece of the puzzle. And that was until I explored my home. You see, the interior designer in me had made it beautiful, but it wasn't supporting me energetically. Fast forward, and I've now been in the interior design industry for 20 years, and I've devoted the past 10 years to Feng Shui and a holistic design approach. In this podcast, I'll be sharing with you interviews, stories, and knowledge, as well as some super easy, simple tips that you can take on today. If you're looking to be more intentional and create a life and home that you love, then you're in the right place. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. This is going to be a really good one. I've been working really hard to prepare this episode because it hits home for me. It's really personal for me. We're talking about anxiety relief utilizing Feng Shui. So if you listen to my intro or you know about my story, you know this is how I found this amazing work, and it has transformed my life. So I went through a really difficult time years ago, and I had to learn how to help myself. I employed yoga, meditation. I went on a walk every day. I took my multivitamins. I changed my diet. I did everything I could think of, right? And your home can be so impactful, and we don't even think about it. I laugh because as the designer, I was determined to make my home beautiful and ready should HGTV want to walk in the door and film my home at any time. But it wasn't supporting me. And I'll share a little bit about that in today's episode. But I'm really excited to share about this. It's important to realize our spaces affect our mind, our body, and our spirit. So we're going to dive into Feng Shui today and how we can implement principles of Feng Shui to help alleviate any anxiety and stress. So I want to start with a little, I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose, to treat anything. I'm just sharing my experience, what I've learned, what I've studied, as well as what I've helped other clients and friends and family members, how I've helped them utilizing this work. So if you are struggling, reach out to your doctor, reach out to your therapist, reach out to a friend, reach out for help, okay? So let's get in. First of all, if you love the podcast, I want to thank you all for listening. If you love the podcast, whether it's today's episode or another episode, please share it with your friends. Share it with someone who may think it's pretty cool. And if you're not sure of an episode, I guess my most recent favorite episode was the 5 things you'll never find in my home episode. I did really well, got tons of feedback, audio and video, and it was a super fun episode. And I think it was just kind of fun to open some people's eyes to a few aspects of Feng Shui. So share it, and I'd love to know what they think about it too. So let's dive in. Anxiety is really more than just worry or stress. It gets really deep, and it's multifaceted. It's really complex. So you can't just, if you've gone through those struggles, somebody's like, well, you just need to relax. No, it's not like that. It's really, as I said, complex, right? You can have feelings of fear, apprehension, just general unease in your entire body. This really affects every part of your body. It can be mild, it can be severe. It can, have a huge impact on your life and your quality of life. So let's do what we can in our home, and let me help you with some aspects of your home to make yourself feel a little better. So I have a couple stats I wanted to share with you. A little mind-blowing. Let's see here. Anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the U.S. and affect over 40 million adults, or 19.1% of the population, folks. Wow. Women are more than twice as likely than men to experience anxiety disorder. And while they're often very treatable, more than 60% of people do not seek treatment for it. If you're struggling, seek treatment. Get help. Go to therapy. Do what you can. There's so many different things. I always talk about putting things in my tool belt. The yoga, the meditation, the feng shui, the energy of my home. Maybe even like what I'm wearing, what I'm putting on my body, right? Fill your tool belt with those things to support you. It makes everything so much easier. So if you have a rough day, you can pull those things out of your tool belt. So as I said, I struggled with my own mental health and well-being. And, we need to remember that our spaces and our bodies are reciprocal. The energy of our bodies and the energy of our spaces, there isn't like a line where one stops and the other starts. It's all reciprocal. So your body's going to feed off the energy of your space. Your space is going to feed off the energy of your body. So if one's out of whack, it's just not a good combination. So look at your space, look at your office space where you spend most of your time. Look at your home. I always go back to thinking about my space and like what was supporting me, what wasn't supporting me. And I think as we go through these, I have 6 tips for you today. And as we go through these, your eyes might be opened. Some common triggers of anxiety could be in your home, could be clutter or disorganization, negative energy in your space, and also unbalanced energy. That was my big thing, really unbalanced energy. So Feng Shui, when we're employing Feng Shui, we use it to create balance in a space, right? We want to create balance in our environment. We utilize this 5-element system to create balance. Also balance of yin or yang. So something that's yin is something still and quiet, like think of a spa, like that vibe, the colors, the sounds, the smells. And then something that's yang is really high energy. Think Chuck E. Cheese, a casino, a loud restaurant, talking, noise, really high energy. So we want to create balance for our body. We want to create balance in that environment. So let's get into my 6 steps to support your space during this anxious time. Number 1 is to clear clutter. Now, I recommend clearing clutter prior to going through maybe an anxious time because that's not the best time to clear clutter. Clutter really represents stagnant energy and unmade decisions, and it can bring on all these feelings of unease, stress, anxiety, depression. It can make everything worse. So start by decluttering your space today if you want to prepare for a better, maybe if you have one of those rough days, okay? Remove things that don't serve you anymore, that don't bring you value, that don't make you feel good. So that could be here's your challenge for today. I want you to find one thing that you can remove from your home that's no longer serving you, to make space for energy, for good energy to come in, just to make space, period. Because we feel better when we have less clutter around in our spaces. Clutter, we react to clutter whether we realize it or not. We're walking through that room and that box that we walk past every day with stacks of papers on top. We react to it whether you realize it or not. Your body's reacting to it. So create spaciousness by just removing one item. Maybe tomorrow you want to remove another item, and maybe the next day another. Keep all your belongings in some sort of order and try to keep those surfaces clear. That will also help. But clearing clutter is huge. And so that has to be number 1. I know it's not the most fun. Okay, that's number 1. Clear clutter. We have 5 more left to go, so we better get going here. Number 2 is balance the elements. So as I said, in Feng Shui, we have this 5-element system: the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water element. So we want to create balance of all 5, balance of these elements, right? But also balance for the activity in the space. As I said, a spa requires a different energy than, say, a casino, right? So we want to balance for the activity in the space. And, you respond differently to different elements. So just be mindful as we're, if you want to dig deep, a Feng Shui consultation on your entire home would be just really good. I mean, I've had great results when working with clients struggling with mental health. They think it's more of like a physical thing. I'm going to be more energized as I move through my home. And it's like, no, we can really bring peace into your space by looking at the layout of your home. Even what's surrounding, what's going on around your home, the plot of land that you're on can impact your body and your environment and the energy of your space. It's really cool. So, remember to incorporate natural elements, right? The wood element is plants and flowers. The earth element brings in, natural like rocks and crystals and earthy colors. But we want to create balance, somewhat of a balance. We want every element represented in a room. Remember to avoid excess of one element to bring balance. I remember when I look back at my home when I was really struggling with anxiety, I had red everywhere. I mean, now I'm like, what was I thinking? It looked really cool. I had pops of red, big bold amounts of red, and red is very yang. Red is very fiery. Red is going to lift your blood pressure. No wonder I was anxious. No wonder. Red is really great for a gym, a workout space, a playroom, a more active space, or even like in small doses, red. But a lot of red can just really stir up feelings of anxiousness and just make you jittery and stressed out. Okay, so be cautious with red. There's certain areas that red is great, but especially the bedroom. My bedroom had a lot of red in it. Oh, I look back now and I kind of giggle. So that was number 2, balance the elements. Number 3 is natural lighting. I just worked with someone who, we talked through her daily routine and how she goes about her day and what she was, and we figured out she's not seeing enough natural light. She's not really seeing natural light, period. She's working in an office in a cubicle, and it's just, we're trying to figure out and get creative. I also recently worked with someone who had a basement office, and there wasn't any natural light, no windows in this little nook that they'd created. I guess it wasn't an actual room. It was kind of an area of their basement. So what we did was we used a mirror on the other side of the basement to reflect light coming in the window to send it down towards their area. That was the best we could do. There's also lights you can purchase online. You can purchase some lights that mimic sunlight. It's not the real thing, but if that's what you can do, that's what you can do. But try to get some natural light first thing in the morning. And if that means you have to set your alarm to get up 10 minutes early to go outside and maybe just take the dog on a quick 10-minute walk and watch the sun come up. Or maybe you want to schedule, maybe you have you plan your own schedule and you want to schedule a 10-minute coffee break at 10 a.m. every day so you can go outside or at least to the window and get natural light. This is so important to create the balance in our circadian rhythms too, so we can get to sleep, because if you're anxious, you're probably struggling with sleep as well. Number 3 is let's create a soothing bedroom. As I said, my bedroom had red all over in it. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I wasn't thinking. I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I didn't know what I know now. Your bedroom really needs to be this like soothing, cozy sanctuary to encourage your body to rest and relax so that you can feel rejuvenated the next day. So position your bed. This is huge. Position your bed in the command position. this is very important in Feng Shui. I always encourage you to be in the command position if at all possible, whether you're sitting on the sofa, standing in the kitchen cooking, or laying in bed. I want you to find that command position. So that is a solid wall behind you and an open view in front. An open view to see anything coming towards you. So you want to have that solid headboard. I always recommend a solid wood, not a metal headboard. If you don't have a headboard, get creative. If you don't want to buy a headboard, find a used headboard, something cool. Maybe make your own. I literally, the headboard I had at the time, back in the day, was red, but it was cool. So I created it. I made it myself. I got a piece of wood and then I wrapped like batting around it. I had this cool red fabric and I hung it on the wall. Get creative, get crafty. You don't just have to buy a headboard, right? Make it, personalize it, I guess. But be conscious of what you're putting on it. What colors, again, that red is just not going to support you. But you want to have that solid command position, okay? Also, make sure you have a clear view of the door. This also puts our body at ease. Now, we don't want the door directly opposite our feet. We want it off to a side, but we want to make sure we can see the door from our sleeping position. This also will put your body at ease. And number 3 is clean out stuff from under the bed. That is not the place for storage. I've shared this story several times. I had a client and she listened. You know who you are. She had stacks of photos to put in photo albums and stacks of books to read stored under her bed. And she was wondering why she couldn't sleep. She was sleeping on top of a to-do list. So remove that stuff from under your bed. I only put underneath maybe an extra blanket for really cold nights or maybe an extra pillow. Beyond that, nope. No more. Clean it out. Get the shoes out. Get the clothes out. Get the boxes, the books you haven't read, the whatever. And I know they're building beds these days. It's kind of a trend to have drawers underneath the beds. And if your kiddo's struggling with, anxiety and they're stressed out and anxious, check in with their bed too. They're doing a lot of beds for kiddos these days with drawers underneath, and I don't recommend it. Let's see. Bedroom. Calming colors. Those cozy colors, the soft blues, the soft greens. Has to be really soft green, right? Because too green can also lift your energy. This was another area. I had a lot of reds, but I also had a lot of green materials, green fabrics in the home. Animal patterns. Animal patterns are also a fire element. And lots of greens and shiny things, right? Everything was just taking my energy up instead of down and getting grounded. The earth element is excellent for your bedroom. The ideal color to paint your bedroom, I love soft blues and soft grays, but following Feng Shui, the ideal color is a color that's close to a skin tone. So the beige, tan, brown, peach, chocolate, cream, ivory, those skin tone-ish colors. You can also bring in very, very soft yellow. And you can add in some other fun colors, but that's a great way to start, to paint the walls, to go with the majority very earthy. Okay, and then maybe you're feeling better and you want to bring in some more color, and you can do that. Bring in some throw pillows or maybe some different bedding, but you have this in your toolbox now, so if you're struggling, really have those things around your body that are earthy in that bedroom. Okay, bring out those earthy elements. One more bonus I had to share with you. I put in my notes. I can't leave this out because I'm running into it a lot. Keep tasks out of the bedroom. The bedroom is not the place for the Peloton, the treadmill. It's also not the place to fold the laundry. It's not the place to sit and work. Now, I know if you have maybe a small apartment, you have to get creative. And that's something we could work one-on-one. But don't default to putting the exercise equipment in there. Don't default to always doing the laundry in there. These are tasks. These are tasks that require energy, require us to do something, to focus. If you're working, you're focusing, you're thinking, you're processing. If you're on the treadmill, you are running, you're sweating. Folding laundry is a to-do list. Whose shirt is this? Well, I'm going to fold it this way and put it in their pile, and then it's going to go to their room, right? These are all tasks. Try not to do these in your bedroom. Your bedroom is for sleep. Maybe a little romance, but sleep. That's what you need to do in your bedroom. Find other places for tasks, for active activities, okay? For those things where your mind is going and you're thinking and doing things, okay? So that was create the soothing bedroom. Next is incorporate really mindful design. Be really intentional and purposeful with all the different areas of your home. Don't just throw something in a corner because you're like, well, why not? It needs a home. Let's put it here. Okay. Consider the function of each piece. Consider the energy of each piece. Do you love it? Do you not? That kind of goes back to the clutter clearing, right? Incorporate elements that kind of evoke this sense of serenity and peace. I like to encourage layering the lighting. Not only does it just look great and it functions great, it's nice to your body when you can turn off those big overhead lights in the evenings, turn on your nice soft lamps. I also really love a Himalayan salt lamp. They do such good things for our body. If you have allergies, they're great for that. They just also have a beautiful glow, peaceful, calming glow. I have a good friend, Allie, who has this really great one too, and it's like a dome shaped, and you can put your feet on it. It's nice and warm and cozy in the wintertime. So that feels nice too. So layer the lighting. If you're trying to rest and relax in the evening before you go to bed, because we want to set up for a successful night's sleep, right? If you're settling down, yet the big bright lights are on, it's going to be harder to settle down. So help your body get there by layering the lighting, turning off those big lights, turning on some smaller lamps with some softer glows. Maybe you even have like a dimmer switch and you can turn it down as the evening goes on. Maybe light a couple candles just to, as you turn the lights down. Cozy textures. When you're designing your space, look for cozy textures. Chunky textures. Big chunky rugs really bring in that earth element. Find something that feels really nice, cozy, snuggly, right? A blanket that you can snuggle up with. Some pillows on the sofa that are super textured and so cozy and puffy and fluffy, and they feel great. And again, look for those natural materials. I love rocks and crystals. I like to decorate with rocks and crystals because they're pretty and they look great, and it's nature. But also they're so supportive to our body. I'm preparing an episode on just all about rocks and crystals. We touched on some rocks and crystals in our Wealth and Abundance series, where I shared some of my favorite rocks and crystals to help support bringing in wealth and abundance into your home. If you want to go check that episode out, that was just maybe a month ago. Super fun, but I'm working on another rock episode. But rocks and crystals are really great. I love selenite. I love howlite. I love any grounding stone at this time too. You can carry it in your little pocket stone in your pocket. You can hold a nice palm stone in your hand as you're curling up on the sofa and just relaxing and just kind of work it in your hands a little bit. You can even just place it on a table. Or maybe you want to get just this big, beautiful piece that's a show piece and place it in the room where you're at. So you get those natural materials in. Whew. All right, we're to number 6. So we went over clearing clutter, balancing the elements, enhancing natural light, creating that soothing, calming bedroom space that prepares and encourages sleep and rest. Mindful design. And number 6, so important, cleanse and purify your home. The energy, the air, cleanse it, right? Just like we shower every day. I want you to think about doing the same to your home. Every day, maybe not, but create a routine. I want you to regularly cleanse and purify using, you can use white sage, Palo Santo. You can use sound tools. You can bring in aromatherapy. Water is an excellent way to shift the energy of a space. You can get a diffuser going with some really yummy essential oils. You can open the windows. If nothing else, open the windows. Something I do every morning, even if it's freezing outside or super hot, for just a couple minutes every morning. And granted, I have 2 big dogs, so sometimes it can get a little smelly in my house. And I don't want to bring in tons of synthetic fragrances, so we open the windows and I get air flowing through. This is huge. It's just so big to help, refresh. Our homes, new homes, if you have a new build, the homes are built so tight. So tight. There's no fresh air coming in. So get the window open. Get air flowing through. But then cleanse it. I love to burn white sage. Sweetgrass is another one. If you have questions about what to burn, let me know. I'm happy to walk you through this. Again, sound tools. We're really looking to shift the energy of the space, to shake it up, and then think of it as this beautiful time to infuse things. So what I like to do is I like to burn something throughout my home. I'll open the windows every day. Then maybe at the beginning of each season or once a month, I'll burn, use a burnable around my home to shift the energy. And then I'll go back around, maybe with some essential oil or something, and really think about infusing my space with my goals and wishes. So infusing my space with peace, with calm, with relaxation, with grounding. I'll, recite a mantra. You can recite a prayer, a poem, or even just those words, and think about infusing your home. You got rid of those funky, stressed, anxious vibes in your home, and you're infusing it with peace and calm. Now, I do offer space clearings. If you have questions, you want me to just do it for you, we can set that up. And they do offer a distance offering as well, doing that. So reach out. But this is so important to reset the energy, especially at this time if you're struggling, because there's a point where we want to shift that energy so we can move forward. But we don't want to be stuck. The energy is anxious and stuck in our home, and we're stuck there. We want to shift it up and change it. Wow. Well, I hope these were helpful and maybe opened your eyes to a few things you can approach and look at. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose, to treat anything. This is what has worked for me personally, what has worked for my loved ones, what has worked for so many of my clients. And I think you will find a lot of help, support, and relief in these. Remember that anxiety affects so many people you would never suspect. I meet a lot of people and they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were struggling with that at that time, because I was super quiet about it. I had no idea. You're always so happy all the time, and you never know what somebody's going through. So remember to just be kind to someone today. If you see someone struggling at the grocery store, offer to take their cart to the back inside. Offer to get something off the top shelf. Maybe you see someone walking into the coffee shop and they're just having a rough day. Buy them a coffee. Do what you can. Just try to spread some good vibes today, okay? I think that would just be a great way to end this episode. Go out and spread some good vibes. Do something nice for someone. Again, if you're struggling, reach out to your doctor, your therapist, get support. There is so much support out there. Now it's talked about so much more than in the past, and there's so many ways to get help. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I know it was maybe as fun and cheerful as some of them, but it was needed. It's important, and we need to touch on this. So remember, if you found this valuable, share it with someone. If you, again, don't know of an episode to share, make sure you pop over and send them the episode of my 5 things you'll never find in my home. That was a super fun one. Well, that's all for today. Until next time, friends, be well and stay balanced. Take care. Special thanks to our production company, Influencer.tv, the WELT 95.7 studios, and our sponsor, Good She. For more information, head over to the show notes. Be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and give us a 5-star review. I'll see you next time.